Hello everyone, it's Honey Lou. So I'm going to do my standout decks of 2023 Oracle Edition. So to be honest, I haven't really worked with Oracles as much as I wanted to or as much as I did with Tarot, but I felt like these decks were very solid. I did work with them a little bit, so I know enough about them, but they are decks that I want to go back to. So I plan to work with them in 2024, but they are solid. I feel like they are really good. I've read the introduction. I did work with them for a little bit, but I feel like I could learn more and work with them more. But I feel like these are all really solid Oracle decks. So let's start with the Wild Unknown archetype deck by Kim Kranz. I just watched Kim Kranz. She did a live on Instagram yesterday, and then she did the Wheel of the Year or Wheel Ahead of 2024, and she kind of just did like a little how she would do it, and I just happened to look at my phone at the right time, and so I popped up and decided to watch it. And then so I decided to pull out my archetype deck too, and I did my reading, and then I journaled about it. And so yeah, I can't wait to see what this deck is all about. I think Kim Kranz is a really good author. I admire Kim Kranz so much. I always tell my sister, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be like her someday, because I do love her, and I think she's great, and she's very sublime, and just like really strong and authentic, I feel. But these were my cards for the year ahead for 2024. This is the theme of the year, healer, and then I got January as king, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And yeah, this is the theme. I was really excited to see some of the negative cards. When I try to, when I pick up negative cards, I really try not to kind of define the card. Like I really don't like to say this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. I'm actually really stoked about these negative cards. I'm kind of excited to see what it's going to bring and what kind of like healing I'm going to do with those kind of energies. And yeah, I'm stoked about that. But here's the rest of the deck. I think it's all around a really good deck. I worked with it a little bit in the beginning of 2023, but then I kind of stopped. But I worked with the Alchemy one the most, which I will bring up soon. But I just really like anything Kim Kranz does. I own all of her decks, and I feel like all of her decks are very useful. I think I'm going to do my sister's Wheel of Head reading for her just because it's fun. And I wasn't really expecting to do it, but the fact that I popped up and saw Kim Kranz live, I just poked at it, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing it this year. That's cool. So it was kind of cool to have her be a mentor of showing how to do it, although I know it's in the guidebook. And she says that she likes to use archetype deck the most or the best. I think she feels it's the best deck to use for a year ahead reading. And so I was like, okay, well, I will listen to that and I will try it out. So that's what I'm doing. And then I don't really need these like this because I think I'm going to mix them up because I already wrote them down, and then I'm going to reflect on them every month. So next month is the king, and then it was cool because then I got the king. Wait, one second. I got the king, and then I got the the castle. And supposedly the king, if you get the castle and if you get a signifier card, with it, that means it's going to be a significant person or thing involving the king. So I'm excited to see what that's all about. I take it as I'm going to be taking a king role, or maybe just kind of like the king is about ego death, and so maybe it's kind of me being more authentic, showing the real me, because I tend to kind of hide the real me in front of my family, just because I don't want to be judged, and they're very traditional, very old school, and so I kind of just sneak around, and like even if it's just like simple things like recording, or my sister knows, but my mom, no, she would kind of, I don't know what her reaction would be. But just like, so I take it as maybe me just kind of really getting used to just exposing the real me in front of my family, and have them adapt to that, I guess. And yeah, just use my voice more, I guess. I don't know. So that was cool. And then the next one is the Alchemy deck. This one I did the most. I did this writing all over it, which I thought was so fun. And I was excited about this deck, but I just ended up getting distracted. But overall, I was really enjoying writing the keywords around here. This is where I kind of learned about alchemy. It was with this oracle. So it's like different kind of archetypes of alchemy, or different kind of, alchemy. So it's very informative. And I think it looks really pretty with the writing around it. So that's what I did. I used a jelly gel pen and used a white, but I actually have different colors, so I may go do it because it looks like it's part of the deck. And I was enjoying doing my daily pull. Sometimes I'd pull like maybe 2 or 3 with the one, just because I wanted to get it done quickly. So hopefully I'll get back to this soon, and then we'll just do the other King Cran Oracle. This is the Animal Spirit. I love this deck. I have a few copies of this deck, actually. This is the indie version. I really like this little pamphlet because it just shows you little keywords. So I always go back to this and look at what the keywords are. And I always find it to be very thought-provoking and very predictive and resourceful. I don't know. It's just a really quick and easy little guide. I've probably studied this deck maybe 3 times. I actually have a copy where I wrote all around it, and then I googled the archetypes of the animal spirits. But this is really good to do with like relationship readings, situation readings, or just kind of who am I, things like that. And it looks good with other decks. But yeah, so this is the Animal Spirit. And I just love the sound of this one. Yeah, so that is that. Okay, got those out of the way. Now we will do Sibylla. Sibylla I did work with. I have like a little printout of the stuff. If I had the little folder next to me, I would have showed you guys my little printout I have for this. But I wrote around it because this is my beginner Sibylla deck, and so this is what I usually like to do, and it's a good way to bond and helps me remember the cards. And so yeah, no, I'm like really inspired with the Sibylla system. Any fortune telling decks, I feel like they are pretty on point about just like being predictive. They resonate. And so the Kazandler Tarot right here, with this having all these symbols there, this is when I was like, okay, this is my rabbit hole I went through, was the Sibylla, learning about the card system, and seeing how the tarot matches up, and and this, and even with like Lenorman, Kipper, and so how I would read this deck is I would just shuffle it, and I like to read intuitively. And then I will just do this. And I don't do any spreads. I do this intuitively. So basically this is the first line, and so this is kind of what is maybe like in the near or like right now what's going on. This is kind of like a little bit farther out, and then I just tell myself a story. Nothing to it. I'm not really... I like to read intuitively. I feel like that's just where I'm at right now. So when I do this, I will be like house. So this is the house, maybe the house I'm living in. This is the young madam. You can see that she's a girl. She's looking at the money. So maybe she is trying to save up money, or maybe it's asking to save some money up. There's falsehood, so maybe there's something around, you see the casa, you see there's an enemy, there's a widower, so there's something about a loss. Or this is the 3 of spades, so that is the 3 of swords. So there's sorrow, there's even imprisonment. This makes sense for me with the prison. Maybe this is, I don't know, my baby daddy's in prison, so, or this could just be in feeling trapped. So the falsehood right here, widower, yeah, this makes sense for me. Maybe it's just kind of telling me to be more careful around my surroundings or be more observant. There's the enemy here with the servant here, and then loyal friend. So this could be about the 11 of spades. This is a page of wands. So sometimes if it doesn't make sense, I'll kind of go through that, and I will be like, okay, well, this could be news coming up, but there's a servant, maybe there's somebody to help, or maybe there's an enemy trying to help who is pretending to be loyal. But if I didn't really understand that, I would kind of just be like, okay, we'll clarify who this enemy is. And then you get the size and pride, so it's kind of like the ego, somebody who's overly, you know, just very prideful, who is egotistic, or maybe somebody who's jealous or getting offended by boundaries or something, or, you know, something like that. This is how I would just read, though. Nothing too fancy. Okay, and then the next one is Kipper. I love my Kipper. I don't really like the design though, but overall I like it. I would love to see a deck like this, and Lenorman. Where's my Lenorman deck? Oh, right here. This all together. And I'm trying to figure out how I would do that, but I would love to see a collage oracle like this. But then you come out and you get something like this, which is perfect. So I would love to make a deck like Memento Mori, but a collage style. But I probably wouldn't put the playing cards. I'm trying to figure out how I would do that. But anyways, we're talking about the standouts. So now, okay, we did Sibylla. Now it's Kipper. So Kipper, I think it's scary sometimes, but that's just kind of a shadowy thing to think of. But sometimes it scares me, because sometimes it's like makes my heart drop, and I'm just like, is somebody gonna die, you know? But I found this to be very predictive, and I read it exactly how I would read Sorry, I'm doing it from this way just because I'm not paying attention. I'll do it like this, and then I will read it intuitively. So there's a new start, change coming with the maybe someone that you are with. This could be a marriage, or this could be like a new relationship, or just kind of you're collaborating with somebody, either with a friend or a new lover, but making a commitment to this change. But this is showing with the courtship. This is new love, fresh love, unexpected income, bad health. So maybe there is kind of maybe illusions, or there could be even a cold coming, a virus, or maybe there's things of just taking care of yourself and being alert to that. Here's the poverty. So this could be feeling in lack, or this could actually be poverty or losing money and having to work hard. Or maybe just kind of somebody is like in this negative mindset that is kind of causing hard work and just not feeling good enough and doesn't deserve what they want. This could be just kind of a mind thing. So that's how I would read the Kipper. There's actually an oracle deck out that is Kipper and Lenorman together. You could either use them together, or you could use them separately. It's on Amazon. I almost bought it. Just Google Kipper and Lenorman and you will find that deck. But I wasn't really in love with the artwork, so I didn't get it. But I feel like I want to get it still, just because I feel like it will really help me kind of put these together, and because I want to make a deck like this. Okay, and then so now we could do the Lenorman, since I threw it out there already. This is a really good book. I like this book more than I like the deck. I was a huge fan of this deck, but there's some things I don't like about it. It's too flashy, but it's very traditional. This book is amazing. If you want to learn Lenorman, just get this book. This book is all you need. So this one, I like it sometimes, but sometimes I feel like it's too flashy for me in a way, but it's very traditional. It's nice and colorful. So one thing I like about what Rana George did was she kept it traditional, but so you have the fox and you have the work card. There's extra cards, so there's usually the fox could mean deception, or it could mean work. Or like family, even like the archetype of the fox is about family, or a guy working for his family, the provider kind of thing. But also it's about deception, being sneaky. So she added extra card for the work card, and then the whip could mean argument, or it could mean like sexual desires. So she put the bed in there, and this is my favorite card in the whole deck because it's so colorful and pretty. And this is the spirit card for like cleansing, or just like you're protected. And so, yeah, she kept it traditional. I like everything in the front, but I think it's the backs that are too much for me. I did have another deck that I loved, but I actually gave it to my son because it was little. So I may get a new one. It's a very traditional, like Grand Tableau or something, however you pronounce it. I really like the extra people in here. So, you could put like two, there could be people that are, I don't know how you would say it, queer, or I don't know. It's a very diversity deck. And I don't know if queer people like to be called queer, but you know what I mean. I'm not trying to offend anybody. So I think that's cool about the deck. 2 girls and 2 guys. The guidebook is my favorite. That's how I learned Lenorman. It's packed with information. Let me just show you real quick. So this card, you get the mountain. And then so it says the future, what it could possibly mean, the woman or man. So it'll tell you what the mountain, like it'll describe what the woman or man looks like, or what's attractive about them. And then you get like what the Grand Tableau means. and then it'll give you some combinations, and she will go through that. And then it says work, so possible work information, possible love, possible health, body, spirit, money, timing, active, action, oriented objects and areas. And this is like a really, and then she'll do a personal story about the card, and then it just goes through a bunch of stuff. So this is a really, really good book. It's very predictive. She's a really fun author. She's always so calming and sweet, and it's just a really, really good book. Another one is The Oracle of the Radiant Sun by Caroline Smith and John Astrop. I think I enjoyed this guidebook the most. I've really referenced this book a lot, and I think this is a really good guidebook for anything. And then I decided to write on here just so I can memorize all this. So I memorized the symbols with this deck. And I wrote all over it because that's just how I do it. And if I like it, I'll just always go buy a new one. But this is just, because I don't like referencing the guidebook all the time. Sometimes I just want a quick, easy keyword. And then I put the fortune there for the, what is this? Oh, wait. Oh yeah, sun is fortune. For some reason I was thinking that was Jupiter. So Saturn has to do with ambition. And some of them have other things, the keywords. I really like this cardstock too. It's a nice cardstock. It's the newest one you can get. Yeah, it's a really, really good oracle. I think it has the same cardstock as the that Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Now I'm losing the name of it. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyways, now we will go to, this is the one I worked with the most in 2024. Like, I finished it, studied it hard, and Heavenly Bodies Astrology by Lily Ashwell, and then the Numinous Astro deck. I put them together. These are really good. This is how I learned my astrology, so I just know surface level of everything. I would love to get more involved with it, but yeah, this is a really good beginner oracle. I really like how this one is. I like to pair this with the Goddess of Love Tarot. These are really good decks to even just do a reading by itself. I found a very clear reader. I think they're very pretty. I like how very simple this one is, but it's just very stylish. I don't know, I really like the way it is. It's not the prettiest deck, but I like it a lot. It's kind of weird. And this one's really beautiful. And so yeah, I've did a reading with this on here before, but I will do a Celtic cross with this deck. And this is how I would use it most of the time. Or I'll put like 5 up, and then I'll put 5 tarot down, and then I'll kind of just use this as like the question and then the answer kind of thing. But this is how I would read it, like this. This is the problem, intimacy, intuition, compassion. Maybe it's having destined to have, the North Node, that's the present. And this is about intuition and compassion. Maybe it's like, maybe having a clear mind, that destined to release. Oh, this is interesting, but I didn't shuffle it. So this is how I would do it. The keywords are great. I love the keywords. It's a beautiful deck, beautiful guidebook. It's amazing. I have my little birth chart right here. Yeah, I treasure this guidebook. So I got the Sagittarius and the new future. Maybe I'm going to embody myself. The optimism. I got the trend. Oh yeah, this is a good reading. Okay, and then what else? Got all these. So yeah, all of these are very solid. Love them. And then another one is the Rose Oracle. Oh wait, I want to do the Memento Mori. So I've been very inspired by this deck. I am not a fan of the cardstock on here or the artwork, to be honest. But I think this is a very predictive deck. It's a really good reader. I decided to put the keywords on there because I was tired of looking up the number and constantly going into this. But for the most part now I know what everything is. If I like this deck still, I will buy a new one that's plain, like how I do with all my other decks. But I would love to make a collage deck like this. But a little bit more like playing card style with a Sibylla, Kipper, Lenorman. But I like this idea, and I think it's a really solid, good, predictive deck. It's very scary sometimes, but it's very good to like kind of find out a situation or kind of like psychologically, or what is that word? You know, someone who's like really interested in learning about people's minds, understanding people's behaviors. Yeah, I don't know. I just Googled it because I wanted to remember the correct word, but yeah, no, that's not me. So yeah, I spent some time writing all this down. I think this deck is very slippery. I think this deck would be very beautiful if it was matte, but it's a very durable deck. I just think it doesn't really match the artwork. It would look really stunning with matte cardstock like the Wild Unknown Tarot. But it's a really good deck. Solid, solid, solid. If I want clarity or if I want to kind of understand what someone's trying to understand their perspective, this is a good deck to go. Even like talking to the dead if you want to, but I've never done that yet. And then, okay, so now the Rose Alchemy Oracle. This is a beautiful deck. I want to work with this deck more. It's very beautiful. These roses have like their own archetype, but it's just stunning. It's healing. It looks pretty. I like the way it's laid out. This is a really beautiful deck. It looks beautiful with the Thoth. There's some cards like this. But I just only pulled cards from this deck. I haven't really worked with it that much, so I don't really know what all these roses mean. But what I've read, it's been very profound. So it's good. I'm not too fan of the backs, and it feels like this very sturdy plastic kind of fake kind of cardstock, but it's a really beautiful deck. And it's very high quality, I would say, but it's just kind of a weird, I've never felt a cardstock like this, like it's matte but plastic at the same time. Very sturdy. Okay, so that's that, and now we'll do the Kantagi Oracle. So I loved this deck when I worked with it. I got it as a surprise from my dad. He surprised me, he sent it to me, and I worked with it a lot then. Then I got distracted like I usually do, but this is a really beautiful deck to take your time with. I actually ruined this card, I don't know if you could see it, but so I was really inspired by Thea at Garden Goddess Tarot, and she put it on her window. So note to self, don't do that in the wintertime because the snow is going to get it. So I can't wait to do that in the summertime. I want to put it on my window, and I've been pulling cards from it though, and I like to reflect and journal. But I'll just pull one card a day. But I want to do what Thea at Garden Goddess Tarot did. Just one card a day, put on the window. And it looks so beautiful with her backs all tanned up. Oh, it's so cool. So I can't wait to do that. I think that was a beautiful idea. And I remember, like, because she did like a little tour, and she I saw her Kantagi Oracle on the window. I'm like, wouldn't that do something to the Oracle, you know? Like that came through my mind. But then when she showed me the backs after, I'm like, oh my gosh, now I get it. Now I understand. That is so beautiful. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that this summer. But this is a really solid deck. It's a huge guidebook. It makes a lot of sense. There's like the meaning. And it's a very healing deck. So it has like as a portal, practice, creative prompts, ecological connection. And then, yeah, it's just a really beautiful deck. And then the next one, this is a new one I got. I've worked with it all month, so I think it's worth talking about. I pulled cards. I know that some people have mentioned that they wish they had a guidebook for this deck. This is the When Olga Speaks. When Olga Speaks by Sasha Lopez. I've got this off of Make Playing Cards. It's not available anymore. But I heard people were like waiting for the guidebook. But so what I did with this deck is I would pick a card and I would just actually go Google the definition of what this means, and I would go research it, and then I would kind of just make my own meaning. So I have like a little guidebook for it. But I can't wait to hear what Sasha has to say about this deck. But I think it's a really good reader. I think it's really good for relationship readings, and it's meant to like talk to your ancestors. But this is really on point. So if I have questions of like, what do I need to focus on today, I will pull one card. Lately, I've been just actually wanting to take my time with it because I've noticed that when I started to slow it down, it's been really profound and I've been learning so much. So I would just pull a card and then I would think about this. I would look at it, journal about it, and then I would research about something about the healing child, you know, or ways to heal, or just kind of things that would come up to my mind and kind of reflect on what the healing child means to me. But yeah, it's a beautiful collage deck. I think this deck is really inspiring as well. I really love this magnetic card, this retreat too. I like her names, or like the words and key phrases she put. So like this one, transcends. I never seen that before. One of my favorite ones was the sorry, my stomach. I love this card so much. The offering too is one of my favorite, with the cup of coffee. Where is it? The inner altar made me really think. I enjoyed playing with that card, or just kind of reflecting on that card. This one's gorgeous. This one was one of the ones that I didn't really understand it, so I enjoyed having time with that one. The hard choice. Expose was a very thought-provoking card to get. Ambiguous grief too, like this one I was like, what is ambiguous grief? And so the way I took it was kind of like grieving over somebody that's still alive, but I think I was wrong, but that's the way I took it at that day, was kind of grieving to someone that's still alive that you can't be with, or if they're kind of caught up in their own stuff, in their own journey, but it's like you grieving someone that's still alive, but that's not the real meaning of it. I forgot what the real one was. Maybe it's about grieving over somebody that got kidnapped or lost, or so yeah. Okay, I like this card too with the little flowers. I love how sweet this one is. And where is the one? Oh yeah, the cave you fear to enter. This was very thought-provoking, and this one was very profound, and it made so much sense to me because there's so many times where I just fear of trying, you know? I think we all do that. So I was like, wow, that's a really good card. So yep, it's a good deck. And then the last oracle is my Crone Stones. This was a gift. One of my favorite gifts. Where's my guidebook? Okay. So I like to do like a little reading. I'll pull some cards out, you know. I will pull some cards. And then I'll pull some other cards. And then I will do that. And then I will intuitively read. And then I will be like, okay, so the Princess of Disc is about the final forming or the crystallization of the manifestation, you know? So it's like the last court card, the last card of the tarot. And then there's the Death, that's like great transformation, possibilities. Truth, this is structure with the healing, protection. And then you got Trust, the cave you fear to enter, and then Guidance. So this is like having that rebirth and you're scared of nothing because it's pretty much like an illusion. But great transformation is taking place with the Guidance and the Trust. And then so I will just like pull my little stones. I'll usually pull the same amount of cards I have. So I will do this. And these are so easy to remember too. I never got this one yet, so I don't know what that one is. And I love this one's one of my favorite ones to get. So let's go here. I don't want to read it all. But this is the Cretex. Represents an offering to subconscious, telling all that is great within you of the creation you have conceived and that you now wish to bring into existence. And then so it says, this stone maintains that you now drink from the sacred cup and bring the concept of the goddess into the material plane for the subconscious. How will you steer the course? Inspiration now gives you a perspiration. To receive the Cretex stone may mean not only to give birth to the young, but also to act as an agent for the development of the universe. When you turn to the Creatrix, you have been given the Strength Stone. Once you truly believe you have the right to pursue something, you will find the strength to make it happen. Trust you have what it takes. Discussion question. What would you do in your life if you could drink from the holy cup? Now you see why I don't like to read in front of people. So yeah, no, it has really beautiful questions, and then it's like this small little thing, but it's very profound. I found out. So I really love these stones. This is one of my favorite ones, the Dancer too. And these are the moon phases. So you got the full moon, the waning moon, the new moon, and then there's like these little. It's a really beautiful, and it's really easy to jump into. So it's just kind of like an easy transition. That's what was really cool about it. So there's that, and then I wanted to mention this book. I felt like was really good this year. I forgot to mention it in my tarot. A Walk Through the Forest of the Soul, a tarot journey to spiritual awakening. I thought this was very profound too. It was basically kind of about the chariot, and it really helped me understand the chariot and what the chariot is about, and your true will, and my stomach is growling, and just kind of learning to read your own way and not letting people kind of tell you what's the right way to read tarot, because there's no possible way to read tarot. And but it was a very comforting book to read. And then I forgot to mention this tarot that I studied twice this year, and it's the Herb Crafter Tarot. Herb Crafter Tarot. I always try to say herb. But I still am trying to understand this deck. I think it's gorgeous. I love the cardstock. But I did 2 deep dives with this deck. And I guess maybe I feel I need to learn more about the plants. But it reads really well. I'm just kind of glowing now looking at this deck because it's so pretty. I think maybe I'm just hard on myself because I'm not a gardener. I don't know how to really, I don't know anything about plants or herbs. And this deck, I feel like it doesn't really give you too much about the herbs. So maybe I just need to go do it myself. I guess I want to experience it with myself. So there's a lot to learn. I kind of feel like an imposter when I use this deck, I guess. That's the right way to express what is going on, but this is a very beautiful deck, and it's by who? Joanna, Powell Colbert, Latisa Guthrie. Okay, so I'm just mumbling now. But yeah, this is a really good deck. I used it a lot in the summertime. I did a study with it on Lisa Pepez's Unicorn membership, and then I did my own study with it, and yeah, it's a really beautiful tarot. So yeah, the Crone Stones. The Crone Stone is one of my favorite guidebooks too, so yeah, this was really good, by Carolee Campbell. And then now I think I'm going to do my out of print decks, just kind of a little show and tell, and then I'm going to try to be done for a little bit, because I'm like in a really creative mode. I've been collaging, and you know what, my hats is off to those people who do collage work and who makes a career out of collage work, because that's actually pretty hard to do. You're going through a bunch of magazines, you're picking out stuff, and you're trying to organize and place it. It gets really messy, but it's really stimulating, but it's actually really hard, and you're cutting these little pieces with the razors, so my hats go off to any collage artist out there. Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys. Please like and subscribe. My New Year's resolution was to get 500 subscribers this year. I'm a little bit down, so if you could please subscribe, I would really love it. But I'm really happy. Thank you for everybody who's here. I love you guys. You inspire me, and I admire many. So thank you. Bye.